Hello? Hello? Oh, no one's there. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Netflix and Chill Quickies with me, your friend, Clowny Clowny Clown. And I ain't clowning around when I say I just watched Terrifier, the new movie that's... everyone's talking about it. It's crazy. Everywhere I look, Terrifier this, Terrifier that. Pennywise is dead, long live the Clown King, Art the Clown. And here we are, so I watched it, and this is what I thought about it. Within about 5 minutes of watching this movie, I already was able to ascertain that it was a extremely low-budget film. I mean, you can tell by the caliber of acting and the quality of the cameras that this is a micro-budget film.
Guys kept buying me drinks. I can't help it if people find me interesting.
Yeah, definitely your mind that they were after.
Not that that's ever really a problem because, as most people know, really the heart of the film boils down to the story. The film opens with this interview scene with a woman who has this disfigured face, and it appears that it's probably based on this real-life story of a woman who years ago had a pet chimpanzee who unfortunately attacked and ate her face. She had reconstructive surgery and had her skin grafted over her eye sockets. I believe her eyes were removed in the process of this chimp eating her face. It's quite horrific. And so they have a character like that. And obviously it's starting to amp up the shock value of this film already. And it's all practical effects. It still looks like it's done on a budget, but still quite effective if you let your imagination run with it. After the title sequence, we're introduced to two women on Halloween who are just walking around, coming back from a party or something, and they're dressed in Halloween costumes, and they notice that they're being followed, maybe even stalked, by a creepy clown. This isn't the first on-screen appearance by this clown. The clown's name is Art the Clown, and he actually appeared in a previous Damien Leone film called All Hallows Eve. All Hallows Eve is kind of a micro-budget anthology film where two young kids are being babysat and they find a VHS tape, they watch the VHS tape, and on the VHS tape are the short films that comprise the film, a couple of which have scenes that feature Art the Clown. But he was played by a different person in that film. So this time around, he's actually played by a guy who is a real-life clown, apparently, and mime, so... he does have a lot of these miming movements down, which is pretty creepy. I will admit, the scenes where Art the Clown is given the spotlight, he does a really good job of being creepy and sinister and disturbing. The two young women end up getting abducted, of course, by Art the Clown, and it turns into a sort of torture porn film where some pretty horrific stuff goes on with one of the young ladies, involving a hacksaw and... genital mutilation, dare I say. And then the rest gets a little bit foggy. Now, I say that because there's not really a clear plot in this film. I mean, it starts off simple enough with a traditional slasher flick premise. Maniac on the loose is just killing people. But it turns out there is no plot in this film. It's essentially just a series of people appearing on screen and then dying on screen. I'm not even sure if there's a protagonist in this film. Also, about halfway through the film, it turns into this cat and mouse game, which essentially amounts to just a really, really long chase sequence. At times, it keeps the tension going, but it definitely feels like it's just way too long, and that they really were running on empty in terms of creative ideas for a storyline. It definitely no shortage of creative ideas though for the kills. Though all of the kills are done by practical effects, and they're very gruesome, and they look pretty good. The film does have a couple of eye-rolling moments where you're just these characters are acting way too stupid to be believable. At one point, a woman happens upon dismembered corpses and decides to run away, but at the same time, she's in search of her sister, and she's looking for her sister by using the flashlight on her cell phone. And the only thing I can think about the whole time is why don't you use the cell phone to call the police? So in conclusion, I would say this film is definitely worth checking out if you like practical effects, if you're a fan of independent filmmaking, low-budget horror productions. If you're looking for a story, there's not really a story here, and it does drag through stretches of the film. Is Art the Clown going to usurp the throne that Pennywise rightfully sits in? I don't know. Do you know? What are your thoughts? Let me know. Leave your comments in the comments section below. If I had to rate this movie, which I don't, I would give Terrifier 5 out of 10.